Hi, hello. This is Dr. Prasad Patil. I'm continuing the class series on Biology for Engineers for Computer Science stream, BBOC407. This is the ninth part of Module 1. This particular class video, I'm explaining in detail about enzymes. So, those who, my viewers, fresh viewers, those who are not subscribed, please do subscribe. And that is the only support I'm expecting from you people. My YouTube channel is My Intuition 4865. So move on to the topic. Before that, the syllabus which is mentioned in the Visheshwara Technology University module 1 is shown here. The course outcome, because now we are in the outcome based learning scenario, so the course outcome also we need to show to the students in each and every class videos. Now moving to the topic, that is uh, enzymes. Enzymes are actually, they are the tiny workers of our body. They are the, actually they are the proteins which act as a catalyst in the biological reactions. So they will speed up the rate of a chemical reaction without being consumed in the process. These enzymes are very specific to the type or the reaction they catalyze, and they bind to specific substrate to facilitate the reaction. The enzymes play a crucial role in various metabolic pathways, the digestion or cellular respirations. So, imagining our body as a factory, then the thousands of tasks which are happening at once, these are controlled by these type of enzymes. The enzymes are like tiny hardworking robots which keep everything running smoothly. Okay, so we move on to the questions which I framed. Okay, so this is the image showing the key and lock mechanism of how the enzymes work, how they are very specific to the task which is given to them, that you have might have already studied. Now, question: explain the properties and the functions of enzymes with suitable examples, which is actually course outcome 1, and the revised Brooks taxonomy level RBTL is 2, and it can be asked for 5 marks because the question asks only to explain the properties and functions. So maximum to maximum 5 marks can be given to that. Properties carries 2 marks, functions carrying 3 marks. The properties. Okay, so the catalytic activity helping things to go faster. That is the meaning of a catalysis. Catalysis is the one which makes the or speed up the reaction without participating in it. So if you think in our kitchen when we do some vegetable cutting, we use a knife. Knife, it will not be used for further, but it speed up the chopping process than cutting it with the hands. So enzymes do the same. They speed up the chemical reaction without being used up themselves. For an example, if I take amylase is an example which is there in our saliva, mouth saliva, which helps to break down the starchy foods into sugars, making them very easier for our further digestion in the stomach. Then second property, that is a specificity. Means there is a particular job for every enzyme. Not that one enzyme will do all the job. Just like a locksmith who is working on a key, it will fit it to a specific lock only. So enzymes are like locks. Each one is designed to work on a specific molecule called a substrate, as you might have seen the image which I shown. So if we take an example, the lactase is an enzyme which breaks only the it cuts or it breaks down the lactose. Lactase will break down only lactose. So which is the sugar which is found in milk. Okay, so it doesn't work on other sugars. Only the milk sugar, when it comes, it will lactase will function and it will break down the lactose. Then efficiency. Efficiency is another property of which comes under the enzymes. Getting things done very quickly, that is the right what is needed. So if you think like a super fast delivery driver who can bring the packages to their destination in record time, or else we have to give they have to give the food for free. Same way, if you think the enzymes are like super fast delivery drivers. They make chemical reactions happen much faster than they would do on their own. Okay, chemical reaction will be happening. in their own, if it is happening, it will not be happening at a speed which is expected. But if an enzyme is introduced there, if an enzyme is present there, then that activity, that chemical reaction will be super fast compared to the ordinary reaction. So example, if you take the carbonic anhydrase, it will helps to move the carbon dioxide around our in and around our body. Okay, when we inhale oxygen, oxygen will go to the body, and each cell, it will use the oxygen, it will releases the carbon dioxide. The carbon dioxide has to reach back to our lung so that it can be taken out. So it is so efficient, the carbonic anhydrase is so efficient that it can convert millions of molecules of carbon dioxide every second. Then the next property, that is the temperature sensitivity. Temperature sensitivity, it's like thinking, if you think about a cake batter, a cake mixer which needs to be baked at a right temperature, or it will burn, or it will not cook properly. Same way, there is an optimal temperature needed, optimal temperature range is needed for each and every enzyme to work. Usually the human enzymes, the enzymes which are there in our human beings body, it will normally, the optimum functioning temperature is 37 degrees Celsius. If it gets too hot or too cold, they will not work so efficiently as it has to. That is, temperature is also a very important property when we discuss about enzymes. Now comes the pH sensitivity. It's about whether it is acidic or basic or neutral. That is called the pH. uh, if you think about a plant which is growing in a different type of soil, whether it is acidic, neutral, or alkaline, just like the plants, different plants grow in different soil. Same way, each one of the enzyme has got their own preferred pH range, whether it may be acidic, or it may be alkaline, or it may be a neutral environment. For example, the pepsin, it's an enzyme which is found in our stomach. This pepsin, it will work best in the every, if our stomach is a little bit acidic in environment. That's why if you dilute that acidic environment in our stomach, then that enzyme will not work properly, and we will have some like indigestion issues. So the condition which is needed in our stomach is acidic, so that the pepsin enzyme will work properly. That is one of the best examples you can quote. Then denaturation means getting out of shape, or destroyed. What destroyed? Think it means, if you think that no need to think, enzymes are like just like the cake. Uh, if it is not cooked properly, or if you overheat it, it will be ruined. Same way, extreme heat or change in pH, it can damage the structure or functioning of an enzyme, which we call as denaturation. Then comes the property called reversibility. Reversibility, two-way traffic. It's actually uh, a car can drive both back and front. If you can imagine that we have got reverse gear as well as first to fifth gear, so it can move front and back. Similarly, engine can work in both directions. They can help the reactions to go forward, as well as even backward reactions are also possible. Then moving to the next property, that is cofactor dependency. It's like a cofactor dependency means just like a helping hand. If you think like some tools which are needed for uh, for a particular work to do, a different tool is, it is an helping hand. Same like some enzymes, they need help. They require small molecules which are called cofactors. Like vitamins is one, it can be one of the cofactor. Vitamins or vitamins, or some minerals, it can be a cofactor like iron. Okay, so it dependency is there, some enzymes. For example, an enzyme called the carbonic anhydrase, which takes the carbon dioxide, it needs zinc to function. So a cofactor dependency is there in some of the enzymes, so it can consider under the properties. Then saturation, uh, like imagine a restaurant which having so many customers at once. What the servants, the limited servant, they can serve only a few, like that. Enzymes are like these restaurant workers. They have a limited number of active sites. It's like when people getting irritated, they will tell that I have only two hands. Same way, the enzyme have only few limited active sites which they can use, or to which it can work. So when all the activity sites are busy, the enzymes can't work any faster, even if there are more ingredients or the substrate present. So in short, you can say that the enzymes are very tiny, they are very efficient, highly specialized robots which keep our body running very smoothly. Then we move on to the functions of uh, enzymes with examples actually. Okay, so first one which is given, that is the uh, catalysis only. It's already explained in case of properties. Uh, it's like uh, it's a shortcut. Okay, whenever we go for a drive, we'll check the Google assistance and we'll go for the shortcut which is possibly good. Okay, same way, it will lower the activation energy. The enzymes of their work, they will lower the energy, activation energy required for the reaction. And the energy need, activation energy means actually it is the energy which is needed to start a reaction. Okay, so if the energy needed to start a reaction is lowered, then that reaction will start immediately. Once it is started, then it will proceed as much faster as it can. So example which is given, that is the DNA polymerase, which is actually a master builder. It uses the nucleotides, adenine, guanine, thymine, cytosine. These are nucleotides. So a DNA polymerase, using the nucleotides, it will build blocks to construct a new DNA strand during replication. So it makes this process incredibly fast and efficient. That is, DNA polymerase is a, this is an enzyme, okay, which helps the DNA to do the replications. Now specificity, just like the lock and key method, just like lock and key, not method. Any key which will that fit only one specific lock. Okay, enzymes are like those keys. Each one recognizes and binds to a specific molecule called a substrate. So example, lipase is such an enzyme which will work only on fat. Lipase will work on only fat. Fat are triglycerides. It will break this fat molecule into smaller component called the fatty acids or glycerol for energy and other uses. So whenever energy needed, we need energy, there is no more carbohydrate, we have to depend on fat which is there in our body. Then the lipase enzyme will come and do the work. It will assist the breakdown of the fat into corresponding fatty acid, glycerol, plus it releases the energy. So that's about the specificity. Metabolism regulations, just like the traffic controllers, the just like the traffic lights which control the flow of a car on a busy road. Same way, the enzyme can be used to regulate some of the rate of a specific reaction in a metabolic pathways. Some reactions which is needed, it will be controlled. It will not allow it to go as its own, as needed for the body. The enzyme will do the required control, the control of the reaction, and get it done or execute. For example, one example is given here, this phosphofructokinase. It act like a like a traffic light in glycolysis. Glycolysis is the process of breaking down sugar for the energy. Glucose, breaking the glucose is called glycolysis. Okay, so by controlling the activity of glycolysis by this phosphofructokinase, this it ensures that a right amount of energy is produced at the right time. It's not a simply glucose is available, break it down and release energy. It needs some control so that the breakdown of glucose takes place the right time, and the right amount of glucose is getting uh, break to get the required energy. So that is controlled by or done by the phosphofructokinase, which is one of the metabolism regulation enzyme. Now digestion, that is breaking down the food. Uh, a powerful uh, a powerful mixer or grinder is needed to cut the food into smaller pieces. That's what we see in the kitchen. Same way in our body also, there is a requirement of a blender. There is a requirement of one which cut the molecules into small. So we call it as digestive enzymes. So digestive enzymes, they act like a blender. They break down the complex food molecule into simpler forms, which our body can absorb. Example which is given here is amylase. Amylase is a master baker, breaking down the starchy foods into smaller sugars which our bodies can easily use. So that is one of the example of digestive enzymes. Now energy production, the powerhouse. Okay, so a power plant generates electricity. The same concept. Enzymes are like the power plants or the workers of a power plant. They actually drive the metabolic process which generate the energy. Metabolism, whenever I say use the word, that is nothing but generating the energy in our body, which we call as metabolism. Okay, so required for the cells to do their required one function. So the cytochrome c oxidase, that is one of the worker or the enzyme, cytochrome c oxidase. It actually do the electron transport through a chain, that is for the cellular respiration. So the process of extracts this process which extracts the energy from food molecule to power our cells. So whenever the food molecules are broken and energy is produced, that energy is distributed to entire body, to each cell. That work is done by an enzyme called cytochrome c oxidase. Not one enzyme, so many millions of cytochrome c oxidase will be doing this function in a systematic way. Now move on to the functions of DNA replication. Not only DNA replication as well as its repair, just like a master builder and fixers, a team of engineers building the or fixing the complex building or a bridge. You can imagine that. It's a similar way. Enzymes are also like an engineer, which ensures that our DNA is accurately copied and repaired. So the example which DNA, and I say, I can say that DNA ligase. DNA ligase act like a master welder. It joins the fragments of DNA together during the replication and the repair, maintaining the integrity of our genetic blueprint. Okay, so we always say about the genetics. Gene is transferred to one generation to the next generation. So the gene that at our memory stored, when it has to be uh, transferred to the next generation, then the integrity of the gene has to be maintained. That means the proper repair has to be done on the right time. Otherwise it will be doing the process called mutation. So DNA ligase is such an enzyme which will be doing this work. If any DNA got damaged, immediately it will do the repair, or if DNA want to replicate, it will go and assist for the replication work. Okay, now moving to the next function of enzyme, that is the cell signaling. Cell signaling, just like the same communication with the world, just like a telephone operator, how he connects the phone calls and do the required interconnections. Enzymes are also like these operators. They transmit the signals within the cells. They regulate the cellular responses. Each cell's response, it will transfer to the next cell, so that a proper communication happens between the cells. So that proper requirement, if any requirement, a cell needs something to be prepared or some assistance required, that particular molecule will be generated or it will be transferred to the all these functions. So proper communication required. So example, protein kinases are like they are like the same messengers which will add phosphate groups to other proteins, changing their activity and influencing the cellular behavior. Then comes the next function, that is detoxification. Detoxification, that is the cleaning work, body's cleaners, cleaning the garbage disposal, at a right time, like that. Enzymes are also like do the this type of work. They break down the eliminated harmful substrates from our body. They cut down and they will make it unharm, or to convert into another product, like the cytochrome P450 enzyme. They are like the waste management specialists. They will break down the drugs and toxins and protect our body from their harmful effects. Then comes the next function, that is blood clotting. Blood clotting, uh, that is the coagulation actually. Okay, a team of construction worker repairing on a damaged pipe. A pipe, if it is damaged or blocked, somebody has to do the work. So enzymes are like those workers who are doing the repair in a pipe. They participate in complex process of blood clotting, preventing the excessive bleeding. Okay, if any a pipe leakage is there, we'll put some bandage or something, do, and temporarily we'll block it. Then further needed work has to be done. Same way, when any damage, any skin cut, wound, anything is there, the flow of blood will to be controlled. That means it has to clot. The blood has to clot. The blood has to clot. Then it needs some enzymes to work. Example, the thrombin. Thrombin act like a master plumber. It will initiate the coagulation of the blood, leading to the formation of a clot that seals that wound and stops the bleeding. Then comes the function of immune response. Immune response, that is fighting with the infections. That is the immune response meaning. Like a soldier defending the fort with the invaders. Enzymes are also like those soldiers which will fight for infections. They break down the foreign substances. Example, if I take the lysozyme in our tears, the tears, the lysozymes, it's an enzyme, or the saliva. It's another example. They have natural antibacterial properties, so that whenever we feel something fall into our eyes, immediately the tears will come. That antibacterial property introduced there, and if any poisonous is there, it will be killed. And whatever we eat, our saliva, it is the first antibacterial activity. It is the natural antibacterial activity, or in a immediate breakdowning of so those cell walls of bacteria and protecting us from the infections. So in short, these are essential for almost every aspect of life. The enzymes, different enzymes. We took only few examples of enzymes, not gone in detail about how the functioning of the enzymes, so what are the properties of each and every enzymes. So they are the tiny workers which make our bodies function, keeping us alive and very healthy. So that's about this particular topic, enzymes. So thank you very much for your listening and getting doing subscribing my YouTube channel. The study material, this PPT which I prepared, it's a PDF, will be available in the description box. You can download directly from there. Once again, thank you very much.